Hey guys, it's Miss Bankett and welcome to week 10 of remote learning. So this week we're going to read a different type of news to you article, and it is a breaking news story. And the title of our article this week is Spacecraft Launches. And this is our breaking news article. And it was published on June 1st, 2020. So this is our vocabulary page. So this week we have 1, 2, 3 words. And our first word is spacecraft. So I'm going to write that on my board, spacecraft. And I want you to write the word as well. Now parents, you know your kiddos' abilities. They can either... You can write it yourself and they can copy it. You can write it in highlighter and have them trace it. Or just by looking at the screen, your kiddos can look at the word and write it at their own pace. So here is spacecraft. I wrote it. So let's spell it out. S-P-A-C-E-C-R-A-F-T. Spacecraft. So now I'm going to use my magnetic letters to spell the word as well. S-P-A-C-E-C-R-A-F-T. So here I have spacecraft. And if you do not have magnetic letters at home, that is totally fine. But an alternative to have your kiddos be able to spell the word in a different way, you may use sugar or salt and just spread it over the table or in a container so that it all stays in one place. I know it can get messy. And have your kiddos use their fingers to draw the letters in the salt or the sugar. It's very fun, it's hands-on, and I know that the kids will love it. So here's our first word, spacecraft. Let's say it one more time, spacecraft. And this is a spacecraft. All right, we're going to go on to our next word, number 2. And this says launch. Not lunch, but launch. I'm going to write it, okay? And I want you to try to write it too. All right, I have written the word launch right here. My spacecraft is a little crooked. Hold on, guys. Let's move that up a bit. I want to have as much space as possible. All right, so here is launch. Let's spell it out. We have L-A-U-N-C-H, launch. And I'm going to use my magnetic letters to spell launch. L-A-U-N-C-H. Here I have launch. That one's a little crooked too. Sorry, guys. Launch. Awesome. And our last word, what do you think this is? Astronauts. Good job. So I'm going to write the word astronauts. All right. Here I have written the word astronauts. All right. So let's spell it all together. We have A-S-T-R-O-N-A That spells astronauts. Now I'm going to use my magnetic letters to spell it again. Let's see. A S T R O N A U T S. Astronauts. And I'm going to make my screen a little bigger so you can see all three words. All right, here we go. Our first word was spacecraft. Our second word was launch. We're peeking out. And our last word was astronauts. So these are the three words that we're going to try to find within our story as we're reading. Unfortunately, we do not have a communication board for this story because it's not a current news article. It's a breaking news article, so it's very limited, okay? But I still wanted you all to be able to look and find these three vocabulary words because these words are very important within our article. So again, we have spacecraft, launch, and astronauts. Awesome job, guys. All right. So now we can begin reading. Here we go. All right. So it says a spacecraft launched from the U.S. on May 30th. 2 astronauts were on the spacecraft. So we have our first question here at the bottom. And it says, what month did the spacecraft launch? What month did the spacecraft launch? Let's read it one more time, okay? Make sure you're listening for the month. A spacecraft launched from the U.S. on May 30th. 2 astronauts were on the spacecraft. So what month did the spacecraft launch? Did it launch in August, December, or did it launch in May? What do you think? What month did the spacecraft launch? In May. Good. Awesome. Awesome job. The launch was planned for May 27th. Bad weather delayed that launch. Delayed. What do you think that word means? That's new to us. So delayed means that it was pushed back. So it was originally supposed to launch May 27th, but it launched on May 30th, which was 3 days later. And it was delayed due to the bad weather. The second launch was good. The spacecraft launched from Florida. The spacecraft flew to the International Space Station. So our question says, in what state did the spacecraft launch? Did it launch from Florida? Did it launch from Wyoming? Or did it launch from Maryland? So let's read this section one more time. Make sure you're listening for the state. The spacecraft launched from Florida. The spacecraft flew to the International Space Station. So what state did the spacecraft launch? Florida, Wyoming, or Maryland? It launched in Florida. Good job. All right. The spacecraft arrived on May 31st. The astronauts will do experiments and spacewalks. Many people were excited about the launch. So they launched on May 30th and they got there on May 31st. So how many days is that? From 30 to 31. How many days is that? That is 1 day. You're right, 1 day. Took them 1 day to get to the International Space Station. All right. So here we have some review questions. This is our review page, all right? So we have 2 questions this week, only 2. Question number 1. What delayed the launch? Was it a traffic jam or bad weather? What delayed the launch? Well, sometimes I get delayed because of traffic, so maybe it was a traffic jam. Oh, no, we have to try again. So what delayed the launch? Oh, it was delayed because of bad weather. Very good. We got that correct. Good job, guys. Question number 2. What will astronauts do? Will they do experiments or play golf? What will astronauts do? Astronauts will do experiments. Very good. Awesome job. And now we're all done. You see, this week's story was not long at all. And the following week's stories will probably be just the same amount of time. But I hope that you enjoyed this story and that you're practicing those vocabulary words at home. Let's look at them one more time, okay, guys? So we had spacecraft. We had launch. And we had astronauts. So these are 3 words that you can practice writing at home. You can practice tracing them. Or you can practice writing these letters into some sugar, some salt, or even sand using your finger. Now, if you write with your right hand, you're going to use your right finger. If you write with your left hand, you're going to use your left finger. All right? And I hope you all enjoyed this story and that you're able to look at some of the videos that I've posted on the S'more page. All right, see you next time, guys. Bye.